All right, so we're diving into this future thought exchange, and honestly, I gotta say, AI podcasts. That's a new one for me.
It's definitely pushing the boundaries of what we think of when we, think about podcasts.
Right, like we've got these notes about how this future thought exchange uses AI to break down these crazy complex ideas, everything from like the science behind black holes to, get this, the history of cheese. Cheese.
Yeah, and they're not shying away from the tech either. They're upfront about the fact that it's AI generating these conversations, but the goal is to make it sound like, well, you and I are just chatting about this stuff.
Okay, so how do they even, like, how's that even possible? Making an AI sound like a real person? Is that like voice actors or something?
Think of it less like voice acting and more like imagine feeding an AI millions upon millions of hours of conversations. Not just the words, but the way people talk, the pauses, the ums and ahs. The AI analyzes all of that and learns how to replicate it.
So it's learning how to be conversational, how to sound natural. See, now I got to ask,
Yeah.
because you know me, I'm all about that personal touch. If it's trying to be for everyone, is it really like for anyone in particular?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Can you be everything to everyone? They seem to be aiming for that broad appeal, but when you dig into the sources, it seems like they're placing a lot of emphasis on making people think critically.
Okay, so that makes sense. Instead of just like info dumping, it's about getting people engaged, right?
Yeah.
So how do they actually do that? Because I'm looking at these source materials, and they mentioned sparking curiosity, but that's pretty vague.
It's tough to say without, actually getting inside the AI's brain. But based on what we've got, I'd say they're probably using the AI to tailor the conversation, like subtly guiding listeners to think about the topic in a certain way. Maybe even posing questions that encourage them to do their own research.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like, imagine listening to an episode about, I don't know, the Great Barrier Reef, and the AI host is like, hey, did you know there are organizations working to protect coral reefs? Click here to learn more.
Exactly. It's that kind of interactivity that could really set this apart from, a traditional podcast.
Okay, so then that begs the question, is this the future of podcasting? Are we all going to be listening to AI hosts from now on? Because honestly, part of me is a little, I don't know, uneasy about that.
I get it. There's something to be said about the human connection, right? Like knowing that there's a real person behind the mic. But whether we like it or not, AI is becoming more sophisticated. And who knows, maybe it can learn how to replicate that human touch too.
All right, now that is both fascinating and a little bit terrifying. But you've given me a lot to think about, and I'm sure our listeners are feeling the same way. So, to our listeners, we want to hear from you. What topic would make you want to listen to an AI-generated podcast? Let us know, because who knows, maybe the future of audio is listening.